It's my time, think it's my year, yeah.
Oh, are we in a good mood this morning? What's up, everybody? Welcome to the morning show, the best morning show in finance. Did you know? I'm Spencer Israel, joined by JC Parets, and the prodigal son returns. Yes, talking about one Steve Strazza. He is back. I have visual confirmation. He did come back to America. And he's here with us this morning after a little over 3 weeks of gallivanting all around Asia. So we're going to get a mood because of that. We are also in a good mood because it's the end of the month, so we get some monthly candles tonight. That's exciting. Good morning, everyone in chat. Good morning, Wavy, Frida, Mark, Justin, Ryan, PJ. How you all doing? Let's roll. I only brought you on, JC. Should we give Steve his own special drum roll? You know what I mean?
Or just should we bring him back? I don't know. I was thinking the show is so good. I don't know. Should we bring in a third?
Yeah, we missed him. We missed you, Steve. We missed you.
Look who's back. Look who's back.
Yeah, man, I missed you guys too. How did it go without me? Was it low energy in here without me, Spencer?
Honestly, the feedback has never been better, to be perfectly honest with you. The people really they appreciated the pictures of you in Asia and not on the show. They were like, this is way better. I'm just kidding.
As long as they get pictures.
Poor Spencer got the grunt of my bullying. So.
Yeah. This is true, but bullying in me is at an all-time high right now.
Did I tune in from abroad somewhere and see you sitting down, JC? Are you sitting? Is this a new thing?
Am I sitting? No, I mean I'm usually sitting.
You're always sitting. You've always been sitting.
Not always.
Oh.
I've been sitting for the morning shows. Did we lose Strazza already?
Strazza, check your camera, man. What's going on here?
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, we bring in Strazza for 2 seconds. You're already ruining the show.
No. Can you hear me? What it is?
Yeah, we hear you. Oh, your battery's exhausted.
Says your battery's exhausted. How appropriate. Strazza's like, I slept all weekend. Maybe your computer should have taken a nap.
Battery's exhausted.
All right, Spencer, kick him out. Let's go to the state of the markets.
All right. I forgot to mention, Kenny Glick is our guest today. He'll be on in about a half hour, 25 minutes. So that'll be fun.
All right, should we do it?
Yeah. What do we got here? Where am I?
First of all, I just want to reiterate something important. Tonight, my friends, we get a fresh batch of monthly candlesticks. Fresh batch. Do we have a round of applause? Do we have
Yeah, I do have a mixer and a soundboard here, but I want to do some more testing before I actually turn it all on and make sure
we'll test it.
So
can you guys hear that?
There you go. That's better than nothing.
See, I got buttons.
It's on my to-do list for today is to get all this stuff figured out.
All right. Needless to say, this is very underrated, guys. And people are like, well, JC, I have a shorter term time horizon. I'm interested in what's going to happen this week or in the next 2 weeks or this month. And while that is fine, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm telling you guys from the bottom of my heart, if you never listen to anything I say ever again, take the time once a month, 12 times a year, 15, 20 minutes, maybe. Zoom out and take a look at that monthly data. Figure out what are the most important assets to you. It could be a list of stocks, crude oil, gold, the dollar. I mean, just use common sense. And if you don't have a list of the most important asset classes, email us. I'll send you my list, right? It's not going to be perfect for you. There's going to be stuff on there that you don't care about. There's going to be stuff that you care about that's not on there. but I'm pretty sure my list is going to get you 75, 80% of the way there, if not even further than that. So email me, I'll send you my list. But the bottom line is, if you're not once a month at the end of every month or at the beginning of every month, depending on how you want to look at it, if you are not taking a step back and analyzing those monthly candlesticks, and in some cases, they're line charts, right? So it's not just candles, they're line charts for specific ratios, credit spreads, things like that. I think you're doing yourself a disservice. These monthly candles are such long time horizons that it's not that they help us identify long-term trends. They force us to identify the direction of the underlying trends. And it's so easy to get caught in the noise of what did the market do today? What did the Dow do today? You know, what did the Yellen say and the Powell and the this and the that? This takes a step back and it's like, oh, that's right. This is going from the lower left to the upper right. Like in the short term, it might be a mess, but longer term, like the Russell 2000 is a good example. It's been a mess, right? Short term, been a mess. But when you zoom out and go back 25 years, this bad boy is just a stair step higher, right? It's like, oh yeah, this thing's been in an uptrend for a long time. It's just short term that it's a mess. It helps really put things in perspective. So I'm telling you guys, I promise you, take a look at your monthly candlesticks. And if you haven't made a list of the most important asset classes, email me and I'll send you mine. Okay, that's tonight. Very exciting. If you couldn't tell by my enthusiasm, but why don't we take a look at what's happening in the market? You know, I'm still in the camp that the second half of this year is going to look much different than the first half. Let's take a look at the first half of the year. This is the first slide here on the deck, and what we're looking at is on an equally weighted basis. All of the S&P sectors in the first half of the year, first 6 months of the year, you see technology up almost 22%. Consumer discretionary up 17.5%. Industrials up 15%. Communications. And look at the laggards, right? Financials down 8%. State energy in the reds, right? Materials barely got moving. You know, there were winners and losers in the first half. Now let's take a look at so far the second half. Granted, we're 1 month into the second half of the year, and let's take a look at what that looks like. Go ahead. And then what do you know? It looks very, very different. Leading the way here, energy, which had been struggling in the first half of the year, flat essentially for the first 6 months. Financials up 6%. Another one that's been struggling in the first that was struggling in the first 6 months. And of course, materials, of course, also leading the way. So three of the biggest laggards in the first half of the year already leading, big winners so far in July. So I think just to kind of, when we talk about how the first half is going to look, the second half is going to look much different than the first half. We're already seeing that. Now let's take a look at the seasonality chart that just kind of shows what the S&P 500 is likely to look like in the back half. For you guys who don't follow the pre-election cycle, we talk about this constantly, and man, this cycle in particular, I don't remember a 4-year presidential cycle where the market moves in such sync with the seasonality of it. I mean, tick for tick, guys. Historically, stocks are supposed to do really well after midterm elections. Holy shit, did they do really well after the midterm elections? People keep telling me we're in a bear market. In the fourth quarter last year, S&P were up 7.5%. Did very well at a time that they're supposed to. Up another 7-8% in the first quarter this year, up another 8% in the second quarter this year, already up another 3% in the third quarter this year. Guys, in bear markets, stocks don't go up every quarter. Right? By definition, we call those bull markets. And from a seasonality standpoint, this is the best time of the entire 4-year cycle. Third is the fourth quarter last year, first 2 quarters of this year. Stocks have been ripping. Stocks have been doing exactly what they're supposed to do. So if anybody you talk to is like surprised that the market is doing so well, like maybe they're looking at their data with a blindfold on, or maybe they're looking at their charts upside down. I don't know, but stocks are doing really well at the exact time that they're supposed to do really well. So it couldn't be more normal. Now, moving forward, we talked about how I think the market in the back half of the year is going to look different than the first half of the year. And so far, that's exactly what we're seeing. Couldn't be more different. And then here's your seasonality. The S&P is likely to struggle in the next few months. from a seasonality standpoint, and then rip into the end of the year, after, Halloween or so. That makes sense. We're looking at potential rotation out of these major growth stocks. We're the big winners in the first half of the year. What's in the S&P 500? A ton of these mega cap growth stocks. So if these things take a little bit of a pause and we continue to see this rotation into things like energy and materials that have no weighting at all in the S&P 500, energy and material stocks, these things could double and triple. They're not going to make a dent in the overall market at all. From my perspective, I think it's a scenario where we could see huge winners underneath the surface, huge winners at the stock level, huge winners at the sector level, industry groups absolutely ripping, and S&Ps don't really make much progress. Maybe they go down a little, maybe they go up a little, they probably churn sideways. From a seasonality standpoint, it makes sense. And when you do a sum of the parts analysis and look underneath the surface at what's in this index, it also makes sense. Because if you want to take a look at that next slide here, we're looking at the NASDAQ 100. You got 50% technology, 0% energy, 0% materials. And we're running into these. And Strazza, I want to get your perspective. I don't know how many charts you've taken a look at since you got back, but am I getting cute here, or do you think this is a big level? I'll show you one more quick. Take a look at the S&P, which is the next chart. Very, very similar composition, ton of tech, ton of growth, no energy, no materials. Am I getting cute, or do you think this is a real level and that's a failed breakout?
So I was just downstairs refreshing my coffee, so I missed the end of what you were saying, but I saw your post yesterday morning and I couldn't help but snicker to myself, because I was just out there in Asia saying pretty much the same thing you were saying in your post to every one of my presentations, where I don't think it'll be a bad back half of the year, but if we get rotation into the groups that need rotation, so if you get this constructive switching of the guard for a while, it probably happens in an environment where the indexes are sideways and follow that seasonality analog pretty well. And if you think about what growth and tech and the leaders have done, they deserve some sideways for a quarter or two. So I'm with you totally.
And imagine if so the frustration from a lot of investors in the first half was not owning not having enough exposure to the indexes. If you were in these meme stocks, or God forbid, these pod stocks, or anything that's not, tech growth, you really, really underperformed. It was tough to kind of keep up with the markets. In the back half of the year, it could be the exact opposite. In fact, I think it is. I think, how would it be if the indexes don't do much, these mega cap growth stocks don't do much, and you're stuck in the indexes and you're not in the individual sectors and stocks that are leading the way, and you miss out on huge winners because you're too invested in the indexes themselves? I think that's the story.
Listen, industrials already kind of started this rotation, right? We're seeing financials break out.
Why is Strazza so blurry and delayed? Why are you so blurry and delayed? Are you getting that, Spencer?
Yeah, I wonder if it's a internet thing.
Are you plugged in? Are you on Wi-Fi, or are you plugged in, Strazza?
Sometimes when I come back to my computer after a long time, it's not on the Ethernet all by default.
My computer has been asleep for a month now, and it got turned on 20 minutes ago. So just give it, dude. Probably just
Strazza, did you forget how to do this, bro? 3 weeks in Asia, you can't turn on your goddamn computer?
No, I kept it off because the cats mess with it and hit buttons, so I had to just turn it off.
Why don't you restart it? You look terrible.
I would say give his computer in the morning to wake up. We should be fine a little bit later.
Bullshit. Just restart it. It looks terrible.
Anyway, I can't keep talking about industrials.
No, restart your shit. Get him out of here. I want to talk. I'll talk about industrials. While you figure out your problem.
I don't think it's going to do. I don't think Mr. is going to do anything. I think his computer just needs time to
No, that's bullshit. The computer's fine. The computer's fine.
All right, I'll fix my phone. Just go. I'll be back later.
Strazza ate too much, so he doesn't want everybody to look at him because he ate too much. So he's put on too much weight.
I don't think restarting is going to fix his problem at all. I think maybe he's not on. He's not on the Ethernet. He might be on Wi-Fi.
Dude, this guy took the longest trip. I can't imagine. I mean, I can. I haven't taken. That's not true. I was in Europe for a month once. And I think I was in 5 different countries, 6 different countries, or something like that. So, all right. So I've done something similar to him. That's Europe, though, not Asia. And these were civilized countries that we were going to. Some of the places that he was. Yeah, Strazza's still on Asia time. I think his computer's still in Asia. I think maybe.
I don't know. I don't
Okay,
know.
hold on. So Strazza was talking about the industrial. So why don't we pull up their slide 9? Because I think this is going to be this is going to be a big tell, right? If technology and growth and all of these, if they underperform, it doesn't mean that they're going to go down. Maybe they go sideways, maybe they go up a little, maybe they underperform. The bigger question to me is, are we going to see the rotation into those other areas like we've been seeing this whole month of the more value-oriented areas, less growth? And I think the answer probably lies here. Like, are we going to, industrials are making new all-time highs. So when we talk about technology, Apple, Microsoft, sort of retesting those former highs, so maybe successfully, maybe not, industrials are trying to stick the landing. What is that now? 3 weeks in a row at new all-time highs? Like 3 weeks. Like if you're waiting for like a daily close, a weekly close, we got 3 weeks. So yes, we could fail. But we're above those levels. So I think if we're above those former highs, I think we perhaps need to err on that rotation versus then just massive selling, right? And right, you feel me on that?
Yeah, I have a question. How long or how hard would like these sectors have to outperform tech for them to actually be able to eventually move the needle on the indexes one day, right? Because it would probably take a while.
Yeah, I mean, industrials are bigger than materials and energy, for example. So industrials represent 8.3% of the S&P 500, and they represent 14.5% of the Dow. So it's not nothing. So industrials can actually, yes, make a dent. It's energy and materials that ain't making a dent anytime soon. And you're like, how long do they need to outperform and how long do they need to do well? Like a long time. Like we're not even close. Like it's so far away. Energy and materials are so far away from mattering that you can't even see it. Like it's not even like there's a light at the end of the tunnel, Spencer. Like there's nothing there.
Well, that's sort of what I'm wondering, right? I guess that answers my question because I know
double, triple. They're not going to make a dent in this thing.
I know that like doesn't the S&P it rebalances quarterly. I thought, right? I'm pretty sure it rebalances quarterly, but it's all semantics because tech is so much larger than these other guys that it really doesn't. Probably
the answer to your question is it ain't gonna matter anytime soon.
It ain't gonna matter.
Don't
okay,
need to worry about
it. All right,
that's
what I'm wondering. It ain't gonna matter. Okay.
Yeah, like when are the Jets gonna win the Super Bowl? Not anytime soon. Don't worry about it. It ain't happening. Right? It's kind of like that.
All right. Fair.
Just what it is.
Yeah.
So my final point here in the state of the markets is the dollar, right? So this is going to be the big question. If the dollar remains muted, it doesn't have to completely collapse, but if it remains muted, I think this rotation story that we're talking about, or muted or lower, I think this rotation story that we're talking about, maybe into some of the more commodity-related equities, things like that, would make sense. If the dollar starts, the dollar's been hanging in there pretty good, actually, lately, in the last couple of weeks. And if we're above 101.5 on the dollar index, we could be in a scenario where maybe everything does sell off. I don't think that's the high probability outcome. I'm open-minded. I'm down for whatever. I really don't care what happens to the market. Just to be clear, the S&P can get cut in half. It could double. It could go to zero. I don't care at all. I just want to be on the right side of the trend. So let's just reiterate where my alliances are. My alliances are only to my own portfolio. I really don't care what the market does or whose 401k blows up. Like none of those things are my problem. I don't think about it. I don't have any control over it. If the S&P 500 loses 90% and your 401k gets wiped out, what can I do about it, right? Nothing. So I don't think about it, just to be clear. I just want to be on the right side of the trend because investing is a very selfish endeavor. I'm not here to help Spencer's portfolio. I'm not here to help Strazza's portfolio. I'm here to make money for myself and to improve my family's life and college funds and things like that. And if you're investing for any other reason than to make money for yourself, I think maybe see a therapist. Maybe, I don't know. Just wanted to reiterate a couple of those things. How'd I do?
You mean I can't invest to make money and do good for the world?
You could do good for the world, but worrying about other people's 401ks who you don't know is a
Yeah.
waste of your energy and time.
Can we bring up slide 1 real fast? I just wanted to highlight this. You sent this out this morning, which I thought in this chart I thought was great perspective. Right? It was just the total market size.
You like this, Strazza? I did this the other day. I was just a little bit, I was getting a little bit fancy, playing with my spreadsheets. What do they say? A gentleman on the streets and a freak in the spreadsheets. What do they say?
This is the ugliest table I've ever seen. You have a team of guys who know how to do this. Could have given you some color, maybe thrown a logo on it.
I know, but I wanted people to know that it was me who did it.
Well, actually, in JC's defense, there is a logo. I just made the table way bigger so you could actually see it.
Come on, I even put a logo and everything.
So the logo is off screen, but there is a logo.
How about a little pie chart or a bar chart? Because you're double counting here.
No, because the pie chart doesn't make sense. No, the pie chart doesn't make sense because the stock market, the U.S. stock market, is in the total global stock market. These aren't all the assets. These are very cherry picked by me.
And then Apple and Microsoft are the U.S. stock market. So just to be extra obnoxious about how small Bitcoin is, counted some things three times.
First of all, Apple and Microsoft are not the U.S. stock market. That's 5. The U.S. stock market's 46. What are you laughing at? Why are you making fun of it?
This is great. It's a good reminder, and you made it very clear. Got your point across.
Well, first of all, I didn't have a point. What do you think my point was?
That big
conspiracy theory on my point here.
No, I thought your point was just have perspective, especially with regards to crypto. I think that was your point.
Yeah. What do you think my point was, Strazza?
That crypto's not material in the grand scheme of things. I get it.
That actually wasn't my point. That's a good point that you're making, actually. I don't disagree. It's so little and irrelevant. It doesn't matter. And I do always say that all the time. These cryptos can all go to zero. Nobody who matters is going to care, right? Yeah. I included it because I cherry-picked what I think are some of the most important assets in the world. And some of the largest stocks. I even include silver in there. I thought that was a nice little bone to throw to the little buggers, right?
Wait, I'm confused. I don't see Dogecoin on. I don't see Dogecoin on here.
Dogecoin didn't make the cut, Spencer. Didn't make the cut. Dogecoin is like a random alt, right? Like I feel like Ethereum. If I'm going to throw a random alt in there, I'm going to throw in a less random alt. I thought Ethereum. What's missing here? Definitely not Doge. What's missing here, Strazza?
The total size of the Dow Jones Industrial Average.
You could have done the commodities market, right?
I know, but how? Because we use oil. It's not like gold and silver that just sits there.
I don't know how you would measure that. You got to ask a commodities person.
Like copper, like it's hard to measure copper because we use copper, like oil. You know what I'm saying?
No, this is good. I mean, yeah, this is great. So
what total
happened?
Global bond market, 130 trillion.
Where are our heads at on crypto right now? You sold everything? Was that real?
Oh, it was real. I sold it 2.5 weeks ago, but guess who started dipping his toe on Friday? Yeah. On Friday.
I told you were being cute.
First of all, I bought my options at a 60% discount to where I sold them.
There's no reason to go selling. Market looked so good, but anyway.
No reason to go selling. That was a great sale and repurchase at 60% discount.
But you sold all of your crypto related assets?
Everything.
Bitcoin. Then I've been making money in Bitcoin miners this whole time. So I don't know how it was a great sale.
No, you haven't in the last 2 weeks. Not if you're long.
Bullshit. I've been rolling.
Listen, I know you've been in Asia. Yes. I don't know if the charts are upside down in Asia because it's on the other side of the world, but over here in America, these things have not been doing well.
In Asia, the charts go right to left. Actually,
is that how it is?
Is that how it is, Strazza? I don't know.
You guys are fun. Listen, Sean and I were cleaning up out there.
Who's the guest? Who's the guest today, Spencer?
Kenny G.
Oh my God, here we go. Okay, so before Kenny comes in, Strazza, can we get a 3-4 minute? How you doing? About the trip? Any initial thoughts now that you've had a couple days to digest what the hell just happened to your life?
So I've been like resetting my body physically this weekend. But mentally, I still haven't even had time to start to digest all this information, all this learning. It was such a whirlwind of how we went from one place to the next and had one conversation after the next. I mean, what do you want to know? I don't just have like themes to tell you off the top of my head. I do plan on writing a lot about like the things we saw and did. and the people that we met. But for now, like there was no time to like wake up and write in the morning. We barely had time to like manage our portfolio. Sean and I were like staying up till 3:00 in the morning trading. But I took like a massive amount of notes, like just a dumb amount of notes. So I'm planning to go back and like try to make some blog posts out of it.
What'd you do this weekend? You got in on Friday?
We went to Miami for the day. I didn't feel like driving home. It was such a nightmare just getting we left from Haneda Airport. It was such a nightmare for me to even get back to Miami. Then they wanted me to wait a day to take a flight from Miami to Key West. So Rose just came up and met me, and we spent the day and night in Coconut Grove and then drove home.
I hear the Grove is back. Is that true?
It's such a nice like little neighborhood. I love it there. Yeah.
You're not going to get tourists there either. It's locals.
It's quiet. It's really quiet. Actually, funny story. It's so quiet that like you can more or less park on the street there, which I love. I parked in the wrong place on the street. So we're just stopping in the neighborhood. We're about to go home. It's like 2-3 o'clock. We wanted to like beat like rush hour traffic through Miami. I parked in a loading zone. It looked okay. I was so tired. Like I needed some help there. We left it for a half hour. We went to like this little like Italian market that they have. That's so great. It's called Narbone's. Came back, car was gone. Second time I've been towed in like 3 months. I don't know what's going on.
Oh my God. Quick, before Kenny comes in, favorite part of the trip in Asia?
The people. Met just like so many amazing new friends. A lot of them and hooked us up with. A lot of them you don't know, and we're just like kind of like chance meetings, which was extra special. That happened a lot. The people are just so lovely there, so nice. And like we were there trying to learn, right? So we had a lot of questions to ask. And one thing I learned is no matter who you are, where you're from, like you like talking, oh shit, it happened again.
Amazing.
God damn it.
Fuck.
Amazing. All right. You're done. Get him out of here. Bring in Kenny. Kenny is someone whose camera always works.
I can't. All right. I can't even. Let's get Kenny in here. Dear Lord.
Jay, we've been friends for a long time. Make the call.
I mean, this is pretty professional, guys.
Nice show you got going here.
Kenny Glick in the house.
Good morning. I'm still laughing. The charts are upside down in Asia. I was like, now I get why I was having such a hard time out there.
Hold on. Speaking of world travelers.
Yeah, I was going to say, Kenny.
Yeah, man.
Wait,
Dude,
so where were
Kenny
you?
loves Greece.
Oh, I love Greece. Yeah, I've
Kenny-
never felt healthier actually. And as soon as I got back here, I had one meal and it ruined everything. It was, I mean, the food, all the rumors of Greece are true. Not the rumors of it being on fire, but food amazing. I'm not a wine drinker, but I understand. And
You get me now, Kenny? You understand?
I do get you. And I was taking pictures and sending them. I mean, I was sitting there thinking I was a sommelier. So it was an absolutely amazing trip. I've never felt healthier, and that's a big part.
Is that why they all live so long, right?
Yeah, we can make money, but if you're not feeling well, what's the point?
Nobody works there. It's all good. Just Germany's going to front the bill. Don't worry about it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's a great time. Great time. But
what a great country, man. Great people. Speaking of great people.
Good times. What's up, man? How was the last 2 weeks? I mean, it looks like everybody had a great time. Thursday was a fun day. It looks like
it's a bull market, Kenny. What I've been telling you, bro. The bull market.
Hey, you're on the Mount Rushmore of technical analysis. You know, you were talking about this over a year ago. So I didn't join in the fun till October and really in March when we pivoted off that one little pullback. But this is incredible. I mean, I remember
I was doing one of your Thursday night schmoozes, right? And it was late night, had a couple of glasses of wine. Kenny's like, so what do you think of this market? I'm like, buy everything. You're like, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
you were the first one. I mean, incredible. I had Mark Newton on too. So you guys, the Mount Rushmore right now is JC, Mark Newton, and I'd like to chisel myself up there one day, but you guys nailed it. And it's incredible because now everybody seems to be chasing, but these stocks, again, the charts don't lie. If they want to break out, let's keep breaking them out. My favorite question is who's buying up here? Who's not buying up here? Who cares?
Remember, when you talk about who's buying, think about how institutions came into the year, huge cash positions, super short. So a lot of what we've been seeing is just unwinding of bad positioning. And we're still seeing it. You look at the fund manager surveys, huge positions in cash,
Oh, yeah.
You know, you look at sell side analysts, you know, they're looking for this the most bearish second half outlook ever in history
Yes.
from sell side analysts. And
Yeah.
you know how great sell side analysts are and what a great track record they usually have.
Yeah. Hey, the greatest call of the year was the Carvana downgrade at 5 with a $2 target, and that's when I bought it. So I said, listen, if they're downgrading at 5 after it's already down 98%, I'm in. My target was $58. And if you guys are out there, $58 on Carvana, yes. And I
Did you
wrote
do any trade
inevitable.
before you in Greece?
Inevitable 58. That was my call. And we got there, and wow. And again, I still think that stock could actually go have another power high, power move higher. But, at $58, we all pretty much cashed out of most of it. But
Kenny, how much trading were you doing while you were in Greece? Or did you take 2 weeks off?
0. Yeah.
Wow.
Fantastic.
When was the last time you went that long without making a trade?
Probably the last time I stopped smoking pot, maybe about 22 years ago.
So hold on, 22 years ago, you stopped smoking pot?
For about 30 days. Yeah, it was only the last time I cleaned myself out. So that's about it. I didn't put the television on. I brought the laptop. My wife, she bought so much olive oil, then she put it in the carry-on with the laptop. So she's unpacking everything. They're taking the olive oil away from her, and she leaves the laptop behind. Luckily, the flight was delayed. I went back 40 minutes later. I love Greece because the guy was sitting there. Here, your laptop. And I was like, thank you so much. It would have been a shame because I didn't even use it.
You took away the olive oil? Why? Because you tried to carry it in?
Yeah, no, she had it. She pulled it out of the, we were being investigated for olive oil smuggling. So they left it. She left the laptop sitting on the table, but luckily it was there when we got back. So
dude, can we talk about this Greek stock market? Have you seen this, man?
I wouldn't even know where to look. Yeah, I just, I know you were talking about Turkey one time on the schmooze. I was like, who watches the Turkey market? JC watches the Turkey market.
GREK.
Dude, the best trade ever was buying the Turkey ETF on Thanksgiving last year. I remember like making a joke about it. Like, oh, you want to talk about Turkey? Pull up slide 2 there quick so you can see what's been going on in Greece. What a beast. See that? Look at that.
Wow. Nice little capitulation there. Boom.
That's Kenny right there. Big spender.
We're off and running. Again, this market's making us all, again, look like geniuses. I've been in this. So Ion Q, have you seen this one? We just powered higher finally through that 15, looking like $20. I got the DraftKings up to 33 now. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. But this morning I went right.
Before we get into that, quickly go into so you can see Turkey. What Kenny's talking about. It's the next slide there. TUR, just so you can see what an absolute beast this thing is. The bottom of this was literally, I mean, you could have bought. Actually, it hasn't made much of a move since Thanksgiving last year. It was already getting going. It was really Thanksgiving 2021 that things really got going. But look at that, nice base there, huh? All right, so you're looking at the Ion Q.
Yeah, again, what I was going to say is that obviously we've all done well. The portfolios are kicking ass, but my bread and butter are these reversals. Have you checked out APLS? I walked in, first trade, I got into the swing of things. We breaking VWAP early on, gapped up stock, rolling over, getting crushed. Let's give another shout out to my hero Brian Shannon with the anchored VWAP. 1 minute VWAP right to the anchored VWAP. And there you go, payday.
This thing's been getting killed. So what happened to this thing?
Looks like it had a gap up on the earnings, and they just sold it off. Immediately.
Earnings this morning.
Yeah, so nice gap fade. That's the kind of trade that I love. That's the trade that I, that I've been just making that my bread and butter since 2012. And after that, and again now with this market, you make some money as a day trader, throw it into some of these portfolio stocks, and until it changes, that's the name of the game.
Do I have this data right? Punch up APLS. This is Apellis Pharmaceuticals. What, they came out with a new cancer? What happened here?
I don't know, but yeah.
Look at the stock. Look at this thing.
Yep. I just checked it out this morning. I'll be watching Sofi today. You got the earnings. I just watched the earnings reports. Sofi got smacked down right at the beginning, and then we just recovered. Nice little buy there around 950, 960. So again, the action is here. I still love day trading more than anything. But again, if you don't have some sort of a portfolio or do some swing trading right now, you're missing out.
Take a look at the SoFi there, slide 2 is what Kenny's talking about here. So they reported earnings this morning.
Yeah.
Nice. But also there was some rare disease reported with one of their drugs. They had a PR come out yesterday morning.
Apellis, not SoFi.
Yeah, APLS. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, APLS. This is the rare Sunday morning press release, but and it seemed to be good anyway. So, but yeah, SoFi also had earnings this morning.
Yeah.
Hold on, I want you to punch up the new SoFi chart I just put in there, slide 2. Take a look at that because that takes us back. That takes us back to the IPO low. Here, put the one with the arrow, just to reiterate what's going on there. Put the one with the arrow. The low there was 1010, and Spencer and I, while Strazza has been gone, have been talking about these IPO lows, and how they come back in the future, and kind of keep tabs of those. You know, Spencer's like, oh, how long? Remember we had this conversation. How long do you wait where there's enough data that, you know, you could do quote unquote technical analysis? I'm like, from the beginning, because these levels are going to come into play again. And here's just example number 297 of the original low of the IPO in SoFi.
Hold on. First off, this wasn't an IPO, it was a SPAC. But I think the logic. No. Hold on. I think the logic still sort of still flies because $10 is the SPAC conversion price, right? So a lot of people are in this thing from $10. Institutions are in this thing from $10.
Yeah.
So
I love it. I mean, this is a beautiful turnaround this morning. You know, again, if it holds, you're looking at a $13 stock right here, finally. And again, I've been using
we're
one
above
chart.
that 10. What is it? 10. If we're above that, you can't be short, man.
No way. Yeah, I've been using one chart that's been really just powering my whole entire year, a 3-year VWAP chart. But again, I cannot shout out Brian and my buddy Zach Hurwitz, who really showed me the light with multiple time frame VWAP. This is the chart, the SoFi 3-year VWAP. If you're looking at, you know, extended time frame VWAP, this is the chart. If you look at any stock I traded today, this whole year, the hoods, you got another one I just bought, some Ring Central RNG.
The hoods? What's the hoods?
The hood. We got into the hood, 975. Finally, you know, we finally got to 1250.
Talking about Robinhood.
You know, the Palantir did the same thing. You know, once it turned at 850 with, you know, easy looking at 1750, we got here. Now we're finally looking at
let's take a look at some of these. First of all, there's hood. There's hood at slide 2. Look at that base.
And also we have the Palantir chart. That thing has been going parabolic.
And we got the Palantir chart. I'm dropping that one in there as well.
We already have it.
Yep. I could give you a list of 20 stocks. So every single chart looks exactly the same.
Huge base. And here, I got an interesting hood chart to show you there, Kenny. Here. You know, hood relative to the rest of the NASDAQ has really struggled because, you know, hood has had a hard time keeping up. Why don't you throw up there slide 4, which is hood relative to the NASDAQ. And I think maybe we start getting a little bit of outperformance there, Kenny. I don't know. Yeah,
this is a big moment right here. We've got to the resistance, and you know, again, we get into the 13s, we get to 15. You know, the old adage, 10 gets you 1250, 1250 gets you 15. And if you get through the 15, maybe she's back. Remember that one good day she had at the second day of the IPO when it went up 50 points?
Are you talking about hood with a she pronoun? Are you talking about it is it a feminine?
All the stocks are ladies to me, baby.
All the stocks are ladies. Okay. I've always wondered, you know, because in Spanish, you like when you speak in Spanish, like there's no like the or it. It's always like feminine or masculine. And in America, it's just like the or it. I've always wondered, like in stocks, because
they're all my babies, they're all my children.
Because in Spanish, it's a masculine, right?
I don't know.
See,
you're the Cuban here.
He's asking us if we know.
Los acciones. Is it las acciones?
Huh. But to Kenny's point, hood opened for trading at $38 and the next day went up to $85. Right.
Yeah.
Alfonso chiming in from Venezuela. As it turns out, stocks are feminine in Spanish. It's las acciones.
There you go.
So there you go.
Right.
It's La Bolsa de Valores also, Alfonso, right? La Bolsa de Valores, right? So even the stock exchange and the stock market is female. All right, so Kenny was right all along. I'm the dumb one. I'm the dumb one. You're
Genius,
right.
Thank you.
When you're right, Kenny.
All
right, so what are we buying? You know, we talked about the past. We talk about all these things. Let's move forward, right? Because you know, yesterday's home runs don't win today's ball games, Kenny.
My baby CDLX. Take a look what this one's coming out of.
CDLX.
Yes. It's all charts for me, baby. I
Hey,
got
this
this.
is too small, bro. What is this?
But
And $300
again,
million.
It's
Come
a
on.
comeback story of the century.
Do you know Kenny, Jason?
I know, Kenny. Kenny, enough with that. Can you give me a real stock? What is this?
Hey, I bought more Rivian on the 25 break.
I like how to ask for a real stock, he brings me Rivian. No,
None of these are real to me. I mean,
no.
it's a video game to me. You know how I roll.
No, I know. You don't care.
Yeah.
Rivian is at least 25 billion. Like, we make fun of it. Dude, Rivian's 25 billion.
But I look at that CDLX chart. Don't sleep on that one. That reminds me of what I liked about Carvana at $5 and $6. CDLX.
Carvana had a real market cap. It wasn't 300 million.
Right. I mean, this is again the stock. It fell from so far that.
Hold on. Let's talk about the Rivian. Can you throw up slide 2 there? Throw up slide 2.
You know what it is? I drive a 600 horsepower Hemi Challenger, and I was at the line against a Rivian.
Is it 600 horsepower?
Yeah. Before
you
I
run
had
out of gas, just leaving the driveway.
Yeah. Before I had a chance, the Rivian was laughing at me. I was like, "Wait a second, he smoked me," and I was like, "You know what? I'm buying the stock," and that was it. And then I heard they had some steering problems, but
hold on. So the Rivian's faster than your 600 horsepower.
I never chanced. I was still spinning, and this thing was gone. So
hold on. And then, so what do you have? You have the Challenger?
Yeah, I got the Challenger.
Is it heavy as shit, that thing?
Oh, I love it. Yeah, I'm giving it back. I have a friend that's probably going to buy it from me. I've had Challengers since inception. I'm a big muscle car fan. I think I'm now going back to looking at a 67 GTO resto mod right now. I think I want to go back.
Okay. Someone's having a good year. Somebody's doing well.
Or a VW bus, but that only has 78 horsepower.
Dude,
and I don't know if I could get up the hill.
Shit also, those things are super expensive.
Oh yeah. 78 horsepower. I don't know if I could handle it.
All right, so you got this Rivian that's faster than your 600 horsepower, right? What else are we buying? What do you like?
I'm still liking the Ion Q. You know, I like ENVX. Now you got the pullback on the earnings. You know, you had that pop to 2250.
When it's 4 letters and ends in X, I can't.
That's half my portfolio. If it hasn't,
I mean, right.
The only one that didn't work. U.S. Steel finally is starting to wake up. But my
U.S. Steel's 1 letter, so
I cannot make money on U.S. Steel.
All right, hold on. So
the market's been so funny. I mean, we were starting to buy AI stocks. We knew the craze was incredible. The reason I bought AAOI was you got 2 A's for the price of 1. And I was like, hey, if it breaks 250, chances are it goes to 10. And that's the kind of market we're in. You bought,
Kenny, this is $200 million, bro. We can't talk about this stuff. What are you doing?
Dude, Kenny doesn't stand on ceremony.
Can we go back to the NVX? Enough of your penny stocks, Kenny. Enough. ENVX, this is $3 billion.
Yeah.
This is an industrial stock. This thing's a mess. What are you seeing here? Here, hold on. I'm pulling up the chart. Here's slide 2.
There's some rumors out there of some companies sniffing around, but again, these were 3-year breakouts for me. Again, at $15, it broke the 3-year VWAP, and that's when we started getting in. Kardashian bottoms. Let's again, that's what all these stocks were to me.
Why don't you tell the folks what a Kardashian bottom is?
Well, the Kardashian bottom is, basically the bigger the butt, the bigger the breakout. So if you got that big W and you got the bigger the base, that break continues to go. So we had a triple Kardashian. Can we get really graphic on the show? It was a triple ass crack Kardashian bottom breakout. So again, if you want to know more about that, you're going to have to email me. But was
that Edwards and McGee who came up with that?
It's fit every criteria we want. Again, I make this fun. Every chart pattern has a bizarre nickname. If you never read about it in the books when it comes to my chart analysis, but every one of these stocks, like I said, anyone I mentioned has the same exact look to them, and that's why I like them all. And ENVX is a nice consolidation. I think this thing's going to get the next move up, get you around $26, and you
punch up that chart, Spencer, so you can take a look at this hot mess of a chart.
Oh yeah, you get through 26, you get through 28, you're looking back at an all-time high, $40.
Come on, Spencer.
I got it. Give me a second. Damn, stupid.
Look at this chart.
No, I got it.
I want to know what you're seeing here. This thing is a mess, bro.
It's beautiful to me. Look at that.
Beautiful.
At 14,
I mean, beauty's in the eye of the beholder.
Yeah,
apparently.
That 1450 area to me. I woke up I dream about these charts. By the way, I dream about charts, which I have issues.
This thing is terrible. I don't see what you're seeing here. This thing's a mess, man.
All right.
Hey, Kenny, I got one for you. It might be a little bit too big, but it's up 10% this morning. GDRX.
I'm in it. I'm in it.
There,
It's
see,
4 letters and ends in X.
I'm in
What's the market cap?
GDRX.
$3 billion, JC.
Absolutely. Thank you for bringing this one up. We had the pop. We got through the 550. 550 got a 750. Consolidation here. Again, I'm looking, the same exact chart. These 3-year charts are just a blessing. So
Why are you using 3-year VWAPs out of curiosity? You always do that, or is just this environment because 2020 was such a pivotal moment?
Yes. What it was, I geek out. I just crunch charts just like you, the fastest charter in the West. I just start watching, and I just started finding how every one of these were the same. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to just start scrolling through every name that I like and look at 3-year.
What do you anchor to? The COVID low?
I'm just grabbing the 3-year debt, just 3 years worth of data, so basically 3 years today, 3 years from today, I'm going to start looking at them. And now I'm starting to expand to the 4 years. So, but this one is a beautiful one because another one, the bigger the consolidation, and when we get the break, if we can get something going on, there's a nice gap. You can get a $13 move on GDRX. Again, I'm not all about these companies and what they do. This is all just like you, just all numbers and letters.
All right.
Again, momentum. This one I'm really liking. I'm still in this one. And again, I don't know what you don't like about the ENVX or CVLX.
I told you the ENVX is a hot mess. What I don't like about it? Everything.
All right, guys. Kenny, we got to hop. We could do this all day, but we got to hop. Guys, follow Kenny. Link to his Twitter is in the description. Kenny, have a good one.
Yeah, man. I'll see you guys Thursday night. Thanks for having me.
Adios. That's a nice little surprise. I didn't realize Kenny was going to come in this morning.
Whatever.
Kenny, you told me a lot of things. I mean, what do you want from me? You're like my wife. Like my wife's like, I told you. It's like you fucking tell me 30 things at the same time. I can't remember.
It's true. Strazza, are you kosher to bring on? He doesn't know. I don't know. All right, let's get Strazza here. Let's get Kimmy in here. Come on. In here. If there's one consistent thing on this show, it's Kimmy. For crying out loud. All right. Yeah. So she had some winners last week, right?
Can't believe it.
Where's my? There it is.
Kimmy.
What's up? Oh, look at Strazza.
Strazza's back. Did you miss him?
Wait, he's never on anymore.
It's because we sent him to Asia for a month. Now he's back.
He's
What's
back.
that like?
It was fun.
He doesn't share any stories. I'm a little bit scared to ask.
No, the only story he tells us.
Carlo will never be the same. I'm like, I don't even know what that means.
Oh God, how funny.
All right, so it's shocking. Kimmy buys Baba on Friday successfully, I might add. Qualcomm and Boeing as well. 3 for 3 on Friday. Talk about for someone who hates trading on Fridays, you seem to be doing pretty well.
Yeah, it's hit or miss on Fridays, but I really should have held Baba to the 100 mark. That was stupid, but whatever. I did what it is. Looking at
Nvidia from the long side this morning, Kimmy, huh?
Yeah. So I made a recommendation in the room on Friday actually Thursday and Friday on AMD. People captured a bucket. I recommended at 113.50. People did capture a buck in AMD. Now, where's it indicating right now? It could be up. That name.
Flat, up a point, up a stick.
Yeah, it pulled back in at the end. We can see how it goes. There's potential to 115.50. Nvidia, I'm watching roughly in here. If it could get going, maybe it moves back up to 480. So we'll see.
I've never mentioned this before, but by the way, Kimmy, a few years ago, I got chastised for saying Nvidia. Apparently, that's wrong. It's Nvidia. That's what that's what the powers that be call it. So,
listen, but Kimmy's from Long Island. They say things how they say them, right?
What?
Kimmy, tell them you're from Long Island.
Yeah, it's
right.
cute when Kimmy does it, Spencer. Leave it alone.
I mentioned in the room the other day Carvel, and it's almost like, what's Carvel? Like
ice cream.
People down in the South don't know what Carvel is. I guess it's a northern ice cream.
It's a New York thing.
The ice cream cake, the Carvel ice cream cake, is the best. My wife always goes out of her way to buy me these expensive cakes that no one's gonna eat. For $5, you could get the ice cream cake at the grocery store. Delicious. right?
Yeah, and then
Tell 'em.
the flying saucers are the best too.
See, I mean, you don't look like you eat a lot of ice cream, but I mean,
do.
I appreciate that. All right, Kimmy, so Nvidia, huh? You don't think this is too extended, right? Go with the trend.
Go with the trend. We'll see. I'm watching Tesla as well. I'm watching a couple names. Adobe's gapping up. I'm going to watch, see if it holds the gap or not. We will see.
All right, guys, if you want to actually trade alongside Kimmy in her private room, there are several ways to do so. You can click on the link in the chat, click on the link in the description, or scan the QR code on the screen. That'll get you at minimum in there for a free 2-week trial. Check it out. That's where she is going right now. That's where she goes every day. Kimmy.
Have a good one, guys.
See you later, Kimmy.
Bye.
All right, Strazza's. Oh, wait a minute. As I say that, he turned his camera up, but his camera looked good. His picture looked good. It seemed like his computer is awake finally.
It's finally waking up after a month in Asia. You keep talking about Kimmy's private room. People are going to start getting the wrong idea there, Spencer.
Private trading room. Come on, people. Get your head out of the gutter. Trader. I talk about it every day. Okay, real fast. Can we talk about SoFi again? Since we didn't really do it before. But
throw up that chart because this is a big one. I like how we're talking about this. I hadn't really planned on talking about this. I to be honest with you, I hadn't really noticed how important this level really was.
Yeah, so they had earnings this morning, which is why it's in focus here. It's why it's trending and everything like that. So earnings, they don't really matter. I mean, they beat by a penny and the sales came in above estimates, but they raised their guidance. A lot of this is, remember, due to the student loans repayments. The fact that those are restarting, that's going to help SoFi. And so they raised their guidance on the back of that. And again, the stock is up 11% this morning, and it's been going up. So where's that chart? Here it is.
It's slide.
I got it.
Slide 10.
Wait, whoa! What? No, my charts are funky. No, my charts can't be funky. Oh, that's the wrong one. Slide 10.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Slide 10.
I got you. There you go. Nope. Wrong one. Wrong slide 10.
Hey guys.
What's up, Strazza? You see this SoFi, dude?
Yeah.
So it goes back to the IPO low. It's interesting, isn't it? And now we're gapping up above that level. You know how much I like those gap and goes.
A lot of these IPO stocks look kind of like that. I think Airbnb comes to mind.
I'm finally break even on my Airbnb.
Listen, I wanted to get into this one when the base broke out. Now I'm looking for like a high and tight coil. But 130-ish was really the level.
In Airbnb?
Yeah, so many of these charts look good. Like, the conversation Kenny and JC were just having kind of like was echoing that. Like, they all look good. When I was talking about at the end of the presentations I was giving, we were doing top-down technical analysis. So we would drill all the way down to like, here are our favorite groups right now. And when it came time to like, what are we buying type of thing, it'd be like, do you buy the leaders and expect for more outperformance? Do you buy energy and the laggards and expect some sort of a catch-up trade? The answer to me is really both. Buy the best-looking bases.
I think for some people it's hard to, like, if you just going back to SoFi, you go to any of them, but SoFi in particular, it's hard to look at a chart like SoFi and say, oh my God, this thing went from $4, and now it's at over 10 this morning. Wow, I already missed a double here, right? And it's hard to get past that, right? People want to get the bottom. That's what they want.
So, and yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
What I would tell people is go back to 2020, 2021. And after those bases were complete and those reversal patterns, were pointing higher, look at how far even some of these funds went, like ARK, the IPO fund. We're talking about triples, quadruples, so the best, juiciest stocks, the highest beta stocks are going to go 10x if this is a real bull market.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And as a customer, as a client of SoFi, I have nothing but I have mostly good things to say about them. I
was going to say you're always talking about how you use it as a bank.
Yeah.
Are you a shareholder as well?
I mean, I rode this thing all the way down for a year, and
that was when you were in Benzinga before you came over here.
That was before. Yeah, that's before I came over here. I should. I mean, yeah, based on the chart, I should get back in above. Well, now it's
why'd
above
you
10.
ride it all the way down? What's the matter with you?
I had this idea in my head that it was like a long-term investment, but then I was like, wait a minute, I could just do some tax loss harvesting and get rid of it. So that's what I did.
This thing's breaking back out today.
Spence,
Yeah.
we're gonna get you with good habits. We're gonna teach you good habits.
Well, it wasn't like it wasn't like it was a
We're gonna
total
stick
loss.
Sean on you. We're gonna stick Sean on you.
It wasn't like it was
We
a
already
total
stuck
loss.
Perlman on you.
I mean, I used the losses for a reason, right? So it was fun, silver lining, right? But
Leave
yeah.
Spencer alone.
We first of all, Rachel, we didn't steal Spencer from Benzinga. He was a free agent. And
I left on my own accord. Wait. I left on my own accord. Let's get that out there. Okay.
We're friends with the Benzinga guys. Are you kidding me? I was talking to Jason Razzak this weekend.
Okay.
Can I tell a story? I just bought some Bitcoin. I got a story to tell.
All right. What do you got? You think it goes up?
Well, first of all, I hope that we have this chart. I'm trying to get my Optima data up. The last 3 rallies in Bitcoin all happened this year, came off of failed moves, right? Just zoom out and look at these charts. Happened early in Q1, again in March, and then again, I think June. So when I see this, like what was a high and tight flag, looking like it's failing lower, but not following through lower, I'm thinking, here we go again. So I can't buy in Binance anymore. So Binance is out. I wanted to buy right now. Coinbase, I would have had to like make a transfer. What do you think I used?
Binance.
No,
He just said I can't use Binance.
He can't do that.
I thought you did it anyway.
They won't hold cash.
Wait, I don't know.
Think of mobile banking, mobile payments.
SoFi?
PayPal.
I could have done PayPal. I did Venmo.
Venmo was.
You could buy Bitcoin on Venmo?
Dude, I just wanted to try it. So I just bought $1,000, and not much. I wanted to see what it was like. I will say, though, it was seamless. It took me 30 seconds to do. The fees are kind of stupid.
How bad?
18 on 1,000.
18%?
No, 1.8%. That's still ridiculous. 1.8. $18 on 1,000. Not good.
No, but crypto is supposed to democratize finance, I thought.
I should be paying nothing in fees at this point. It's crazy.
So I didn't tell anybody. I didn't say it out loud. It was towards the end of the day. I had a funny feeling, and I was wrong, but I had a funny feeling that we may see some fireworks in the crypto space over the weekend. I was seeing the action. I didn't want to miss it. I had some FOMO. I didn't own any Bitcoin, no crypto, nothing. I was zero, wiped out, like everything out. And I started buying the Mara calls very, very aggressively.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure I bought the 30s. This is a very aggressive bet. I mean, not in terms of size yet, but in terms of positioning. I don't want to misspeak, so I want to tell you guys exactly, full disclosure. I'm pretty sure I own the January 30s.
I got into more riots Friday.
Here, let me punch it up. I'm pretty sure I don't want to tell you guys I did one thing and I did something else, but I'm pretty sure it was the 30s. I'm going to punch it up now.
So the guy who was selling all of his crypto 2.5 weeks ago is now telling me it's time to be aggressive in crypto. Such a little sleep trader. I didn't know that you were such a tactical guy. I thought you liked to sleep at night.
Well, I'm not usually such a tactical guy, but I had such a huge position in such leveraged assets that I needed to be defensive.
Fine.
Right?
Fine. Yeah.
Like I had huge size on in way out of the money calls that were having massive swings intraday. Like I was being defensive. Right? Is there anything wrong with that?
No, that's fine. You made money.
JC, next time just wait for like a 3-day weekend. Bitcoin always relies on a 3-day weekend.
Is that the rule of thumb?
Yeah.
I don't know about that. But yes, Freely says I had a little bit of a FOMO. That's not wrong. I wanted to at least have some. Here, I just punched on my account. I own the January 30 calls. There we go.
MicroStrategy's got to split their stock because I want calls, and it's just too much of a capital outlay with them trading at $600 a share. It's really not working for me.
I'll tell Michael.
It's a great vehicle. I think it's as good as any vehicle right now. MicroStrategy. Maybe you just buy the stock. I'll bet you MicroStrategy is going to give you more juice than Bitcoin if Bitcoin hooks higher here and legs up.
Well, yeah, isn't that?
Well, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's what it does, right?
No, that makes sense. That sounds right.
every time I think about this and I look at a chart of Bitcoin and want to buy it, I say to myself, but that's not the vehicle, right? Like Bitcoin breaking out, that's great. But then when I think of actually going and hitting buy,
Yes.
it's very hard for me to get myself to a place where I'm still buying Bitcoin. But the analysis.
It's a poor use of funds.
What?
It's a poor use of funds.
I agree.
It's like buying like a Forex ETF.
Yeah.
Like that's just not the vehicle to express a bullish thesis
Totally.
on the Turkish lira, you know?
I never thought I would say this, but thank God we have these Bitcoin miners. I made fun of these companies for years, but I'm just so glad to have them. They've been great vehicles all year. No.
I couldn't agree more. I'm so happy you're saying this because I've been thinking the exact same thing. In fact, when I was on with Josh and Batnick on the show last Thursday, which is funny, I rewatched it this weekend. It was actually pretty funny. I was kind of disappointed afterwards because I feel like we weren't like yelling at each other as much as we usually do, and people like it when we're yelling at each other. But I watched it again, and I was like, okay, this is pretty funny.
my feelings were hurt that I wasn't invited, but I'll still watch.
You were in Asia.
Whatever.
What are you gonna do? Anyway, listen, go to the Compound and Friends YouTube channel. It was fun. Strazza feels a little left out. Nobody feels bad for you at all. You were just in Asia for 3 weeks. Nobody feels bad.
Finish the thought. The miners.
I was explaining to them, I'm like, listen, like we don't have a Bitcoin ETF per se, but we do, right? Like what Strazza was just saying, we have vehicles to express a bullish thesis in Bitcoin. That's a better way to do it than actual Bitcoin. And by better, I just want to clear leveraged, right? Yeah. So if you want some natural leverage in your position sizing, that might not necessarily be better for you. Totally. But for Strazza and I to do this professionally that can manage risk responsibly, in Strazza's opinion, I'm being too responsible with my crypto exposure.
No, time frame, right? Listen, traders need vehicles. So like I know it sounds funny, but I'm not joking one bit when I say they should split MSTR stock. And I hope that they're in their boardroom talking about these things. Because
why should they split MSTR stock?
It's an excellent vehicle. People like to use it as a vehicle. They want it to be a spot Bitcoin vehicle. Split the price. You'll have far more liquid options markets, and options traders will be much more likely to use it. That's a fact.
I disagree. It's going to bring on. It's going to bring on like the weak hands, individual amateur retail investors. You don't want that.
No, you're so wrong. You're so wrong.
Right.
Like at some point, like when these high price stocks, they mess up your options math and your risk.
You think Warren Buffett gives a shit about your options math?
Some traders give a shit about what I'm talking about. Ask Sean.
Don't get me wrong. I'm with you. I'm talking about from the perspective of the CEO, of Michael Saylor or Uncle Warren.
He wants people to transact in his stock as much as possible.
Yeah.
He does. He totally does. You're so
I don't know. He's not an idiot either. And he knows that having a high price stock is going to keep the dumb retail, he wants the diamond hands, he wants the institutions. Let's be serious.
Let's wrap up this conversation. Moral of this story is I wanted exposure to Bitcoin. Didn't really think too much about it. Already regretting buying Bitcoin. I probably could have waited a half hour here, 15 minutes here, and just bought some more Mara Riot calls to express the thesis. But I bought it on Venmo, and the fees were close to 2%. Not great, but very easy to do. So
I started nibbling again after cashing out of everything a couple of Fridays ago. And if we start to creep up and start breaking out above 30, 31 on the BTC, Mara starts getting above 20, then I will have an irresponsibly long position. Right now, I'm still responsibly long.
I think this is literally a buy anything market. I'm still catching up and looking at these charts. I was paying attention while I was away. What are you shaking your head at?
I don't think it's a buy anything market.
All right. Could you buy tech here?
I don't own any tech.
Could you buy growth? These stocks are breaking back out. Look at XLK. Look at semis. Could you buy those stocks?
I got nothing. I got nothing there. The most growthy name I own is PayPal.
Hold on. Let's just do an exercise. Seriously. Growth and tech. Could you buy them right now? You want long exposure. Would you tell someone that's a terrible idea to buy growth and tech?
I don't tell anybody what to do. I really don't give a shit what other people do. I'm telling you what I'm doing.
Okay. The point is, growth.
I got no tech.
These are the leaders. They're very buyable at current levels, whether you like it or not. I get it that it's a logical level for them to meet some resistance, see some overhead supply come in, maybe get some corrective action, but they could blow right through too, right? They are the leaders. I think you kind of can treat them as innocent until proven guilty. Can you buy things like financials or the
I'm
laggards?
treating them
Energy.
guilty until proven innocent, actually.
They're innocent until proven guilty when they up 50%.
To you, they're guilty until proven innocent to me.
Okay. People out there can tell you, did you read Ari Wald's note this weekend? He's still buying growth in tech. People are buying growth
Well,
in
in
tech.
that case,
I'm just saying, people are
he
doing
works at Oppenheimer. He's a long-only mutual funds are his clients.
Next point.
Of course he's buying growth in tech.
Can you
He
buy
has-
the laggards?
He doesn't have a choice.
Done. Financials and energy. Can you buy those right now?
I have been buying those. That is what I've been buying.
How about real estate, the real junky stuff?
I've been thinking about it, but I haven't pulled the trigger on anything.
You can buy that. Materials, you can buy that. Can you buy ARK stocks, the most speculative growth stocks? See these bases in ARK?
PayPal and ARK stock? Yeah, right.
You can buy that. Can you
I
buy
own it. I own
Bitcoin
PayPal.
or crypto? We are both buying it. You can buy that. What did I miss? What can't you buy? Can you buy commodities? You can buy that.
I don't
You
think
can
it's
buy
gonna be that
anything.
simple.
Find your risk.
I can't agree with you on the technology and the growth. You might be right. I hope you are right. I hope you are right. Right. I don't know. I don't know enough. I mean, granted, I don't know anything, but I'm not confident enough in that trade up here that I want to put positions on. I'm doing the opposite. I own HSBC. I got a ton of Chevron. Like I own a fuck ton of Chevron.
Yeah. European financials, you just mentioned. You could buy European stocks. In fact, the best way to poke a hole in what I'm saying, and I know this well because I just spent 4 weeks there, Asia. Around the world, when you look, Europe started, kicked off this bull market last year. Developed Europe looks great. It seems like they're going to catch some more rotation right now. Asia has been really the global laggard, and they're starting to improve. If you look at something like Vietnam, nice base. Japan is getting its act together.
Dude, Strazza loves Vietnam. Are you?
There's a
Strazza has
story
home
to
country
tell.
bias in Vietnam now.
And Philippines, to be very
Did you
fair.
say you bought the Vietnam ETF when you were out there?
I already owned it, but I bought more. And also, it was a nice base. The base had already broken out before I got there, to be fair. But also Philippines. There's a story to tell about the Philippines. Capital markets are blowing up. It's very exciting stuff.
EPHE? Do I have that right? EPHE?
Yeah, but you know what? I'm opening an account locally with Nikki, and I want
Stop
the
it.
risk.
You're opening an account in the
Whoa.
Philippine Stock Exchange now?
Yes. They all buy local stocks there. I think it's so cool. Sean and I did our due diligence. He's buying like a gambling stock.
Speaking of Sean will be on in about 5 minutes. So let's save
Hold
the
on.
story.
You and Sean opened up brokerage accounts in the Philippines?
I don't
Are
know
you
if he
guys
went
serious?
through with it, but me and Nikki, it's almost open. I already signed the paperwork. We almost
Shout out Nikki Yu. So Nikki Yu showed you guys a good time in Manila, huh?
the best.
Did it remind you of like Cuban food, like Spanish? Like, was there an element of that?
The Philippines is super cool because the people look and sound and act far differently than the rest because of that Spanish influence, and it's super cool. Probably, listen, I'm not going to play this game and talk about like favorite places, nicest people, but if you had to pick some of the nicest people, I mean, they're right there at the top.
Dude, so I'm on the phone with these guys. It's like the morning here. It's the night over there. They're drinking. They got a big dinner. And Strazza's like, JC, like, we don't want to go to Taiwan. We want to stay here in Manila. We're having so much fun. We have so many friends. Like, and I'm like, fine, skip Taiwan. Just get to Hong Kong earlier. That's what I said. And like, he goes back into the restaurant and like everybody was freaking out about how happy they were.
You were such a hero that night. You don't even know it. Yeah. The whole bar was like, what's going on over there? We were pumped. That was great. That was the
so
move.
excited that Spencer was disappointed.
I was the only one that was disappointed. Yeah.
Listen, in hindsight, like removing 2 travel days from the equation, not only like just helped us physically and mentally, but it also allowed us to spend more time in Manila where we had hit it off with, locals and our friends, and they wanted to show us things. I think Sean went to the stock exchange the next day because we stayed. And then it gave us an extra day in Hong Kong, which was maybe the most fascinating experience of any city. So it really worked out. That was
Hong Kong's dope, right?
incredible. Yeah. A lot going on there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Can we do the chart report, then bring on Sean?
Yeah. We can do chart report. We can also do hot corner.
Let's do them both. Let's do
There's
chart
nothing
report
to talk
first.
about in Hot Corner. Give me the day off. There's 2 filings.
Give it the day off.
Yeah,
No, no, we're doing it. Do the chart report first.
We do chart report first. Sure. I think JC wanted to do it because JC got in the chart report. That's why he wanted to.
Did I?
I
Yeah,
thought
he did.
I thought you were blacklisted. I thought we blacklisted you a long time ago.
No, he's in. He's in. So here's the chart report from Friday. This is from Friday. Scroll down.
Can we talk about Brian alpha charts?
Oh wait, let's scroll up. Sorry.
Can we talk about how great this chart is?
Yeah.
Like it's so obnoxious. It's so obnoxious and so good at the same time.
Some of the best TA comes from this guy.
He does a hell of a job. He's Canadian. Did you know that?
Yeah, Brian's awesome. I mean, he really is the epitome of keep it simple, and I love that about.
This is the Nasdaq 150-day moving average. Not a downtrend, I think is his point here.
When did it bottom? All right, so just all year. Good, sure.
I mean, listen, you know me, I'm not like obsessed with moving averages and things like that, but this is a very good use of moving averages for sure.
You know what stands out to me about this? He removed price. He's not looking at price because it's the directions, the slope of this moving average that's telling him everything he needs to know.
And then scroll all the way down to the bottom, Arun Chopra.
Funny guy.
All the way down to the bottom.
Oh wait, look at that. There's JC.
Heyo,
Hey.
JC making a little appearance on the
Scroll
chart report. No
right
big deal.
past that.
No big
Okay.
deal. All right, so here, the point he's making is that Thursday, everybody's talking about an outside day, key reversal. Like everybody is a candlestick expert all of a sudden, and nobody, not a single person, was like, "Hey, for this to be a bearish engulfing, you need to have follow through the next day." Like none of these Twitter experts mentioned the most important part of the whole thing. So this is Arun Chopra laughing because the next day the market absolutely ripped, got no follow through whatsoever. At least not yet. We can still get it this week. But this is a great point, sort of reiterating, don't overthink a single candlestick. You need follow through. And my point was weekly candlesticks are more important than daily candlesticks.
Hey guys, can we talk about Twitter real quick? I was gone for a couple weeks. I come back and Twitter's not Twitter anymore. Like
he comes back and Twitter's not.
My Bird app on my phone. What happened?
Not only is it a new name, but then Facebook came out with a new Twitter, and that's already gone. It already didn't work.
He missed Threads.
You missed the whole thing, like from beginning to end. You missed the whole thing. It lasted like a day or two. Everybody was like, "Oh, Twitter killer." As soon as the journalist kept telling me that this was the Twitter killer, you knew that it was definitely not.
So people didn't want to mix work with their personal social.
Correct.
The last thing that I want to do is hear what my high school friends have to say. Like, think about how terrible that is. You really want to know what your high school friends think about anything?
I'm glad they're experimenting with things. This is what we want these tech companies to do. Good for them.
Wait, Strazza, just wait till you notice that the bird icon on your Chrome tab is gone. So when you look to find Twitter, you got to look for the white and black X now.
Well, here's the thing with this. This X looks like everything else that I got, right? So like I understand the rebranding, but it looks like the Trading View icon and the HBO Max icon and everything.
Exactly that's exactly what Patrick was saying last week or whatever.
It's really confusing.
I used to have a nice blue bird. It was very clear where Twitter was whenever I needed it. So I'm sure that, listen, one thing I've learned, especially this year, Elon Musk has done a lot. He's made all the right moves with these companies that he manages over the years. Talk about innocent until proven guilty. Whatever he wants to do, fine. I'll let him do it. Like, we'll let the dust settle and, see who was right and who was wrong in a few years. But it does seem to me that a lot on Twitter is changing in a way that I don't love it. So,
like what?
All right. So I found out also when I was away, go to your settings in your messages. They have changed it so that people who don't follow you can't slip into your DMs or that you don't follow back. Like they're automatically changing settings on us.
Really?
Yeah.
I can't have people slipping into my DMs.
Yeah, you got to go to messages.
But I have all these beautiful women that are constantly texting me, messaging me on Twitter to meet up. All these beautiful. You don't think they're real beautiful women? You think they might just be robots?
Listen, you want people to be able to come into your DMs. You can reject 9 out of 10 of them, but like you want one of those 10. And I think it has something to do with the check mark. I don't pay for the check mark. I think if you do, maybe it kept your settings.
Oh, I do. I pay for my check mark.
There you go.
You don't pay for your check mark?
Do I need to?
It's $8, dude.
Yeah, I get it, but what does it do for me?
So
I don't know. I did it just because I wanted to try it and see what it did, and then I kind of just left it there.
So without the check mark, you're never going to show up in like the other feed. You're right. There's like your feed, and then there's like the other feed, right? And that's all just check marks. So if you want to join and show up in the other feed, you have to pay for it. But I don't know. Real fast.
Yeah.
Chart of the day, guys. It's a free daily email. It goes out every single day. Patrick compiles all the best charts from across Twitter, sends it out in the evening. It's a fantastic read. If you don't get it, you should get it. It's free. Scan the QR code on the screen. Use the link in the description to get the chart report. All right. Should we bring on the other
World Traveler?
Other world traveler, right? We have
I want to talk about local stocks when we get back to. I got some local stocks to talk about.
3 world travelers on the show today. Let's get Sean on here.
What is up, boys?
Johnny baby.
Hey, long time no see. Sean was so tired of me, ditched me at the airport on the last day.
You're going to be super Chicago right now, and we're in a beautiful old hotel in Chicago. When we checked into our room, the room was a little underwhelming. The room was underwhelming, but more to the point, we found a roach in our room, and so we called down and said, "This isn't cool." And so they upgraded us to the Pimp Daddy of Pimp Daddiest suites, dude. This thing is unreal. It's like a large Chicago apartment.
So JC, Sean, by the end of the trip, became an expert in upgrading rooms at hotels. To the point where, like, we all just stopped. We were like, Sean's got this. Let us know about the upgrade, Sean. Right? I mean, you're really good at it. Lounges and hotels.
Sean, favorite part of the trip?
Airport lounges.
Watching Steve Strazza sweat.
Oh, man, dude. How about the fortune cookie I got?
Hey, those fortune cookies were pretty sweet. We all got some pretty great ones. I'm still sorting out mine, what it means. It's a really deep one. But we got those at the China Club, right?
Yes, the China Club. So JC had asked, God damn it.
Yep, and we lost Strazza.
We lost Strazza again. All right, get him out of here.
No, we didn't lose him. We just lost his beautiful face.
It's not that beautiful.
It's all right. Now he's gone.
Are you happy to be back in the States? Did you miss America? Does it make you appreciate where you're from, or screw America, go back to Asia?
Listen, I loved Asia. Every place we went to, I wanted to stay longer. I think we all did. But there were parts of it that made me appreciate my small little mountain town that I live in, especially when it's nice and comfortable and not humid.
he loved it so much he got home and immediately goes to Chicago.
I know. I was only home for 2 days, and then now I'm in Chicago, and I'll be here till tomorrow. I'm taking my son to a Cubs game tonight, Wrigley Field.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
But Chicago's like home for Sean.
I know. And then I'm going to Buffalo tomorrow for 8 days or 7 days.
I'm sorry to hear that part.
So Sean, we asked Strazza for a story, and I think we were hoping for a story from the trip, and he tells us a story about Miami from when he gets home. Do you have an actual story from the trip that you can tell us?
You're putting me on the spot here. Boy, Strazza mentioned Hong Kong, and I agree with him. There's no way to pick a favorite of all the places we went to. Hong Kong was by far the most beautiful. Like, man, that city with the bay in the middle and lush green mountains all around it. From the surface level, it's the most beautiful city we visited. But when you dig a little deeper, which we did, it gets very, very interesting.
How deep into Kowloon did you guys go?
Well, Strazza went deeper than me. I'll just leave it at that. But the whole China situation there is really interesting and really challenging. To the point, really 2 teams in Hong Kong. There's the pro-China team and there's the pro-Hong Kong team, like the Hong Kong nationals or people who grew up there. And neither team wants to talk about what's going on there, but for different reasons. The China people don't want to talk about it because the feeling I got was they know what they're doing is not right, and they feel funny about it. But they're afraid of getting in trouble for talking about it. And really smart people there. Probably the best conversations we had with anybody on any trip, but not a single one of them would agree to go on camera and be on record. And in fact, in a lot of the places we were talking, it was like hushed tones. They were worried that somebody was listening, that the walls were tapped. It was a really weird vibe, which made it fascinating,
Interesting.
but frustrating. So I don't know if that
By the way,
qualifies as a story, but
Strazza is here. He's here audio only, but he is here. Right, Strazza?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Sean, like when we were having our tea party with Nelson, I mean, the music was beautiful and lovely, but the music was also on by design, right? He was playing jazz in the background.
Recording. Yeah.
Yeah.
We weren't recording. He didn't allow us to record, but he put the music on, and we could totally tell he heard that people were listening. He didn't say it, but we all knew that that's what he was doing.
Interesting.
Yeah, he has to worry because of his involvement in the protests and his relationships to some people there. He has to worry about his place being bugged. So regardless of the cameras. So that was, I mean, felt like we were on like an episode of The Sopranos at times in Hong Kong.
I get these, these are very similar
Yeah,
stories that I've heard from my family members, back before they left Cuba to come to the United States in the early 60s. My mom tells me stories because she was old enough. She was already 6, 7 years old, so she remembers. And they weren't allowed to talk about it. They were leaving to the United States or anything like that because every single block had spies that would report up to the government. Yep. So even if you're talking amongst yourselves, you were going to get in trouble. So my mom, all of this sounds very familiar. The whole communist situation to the stories that I've heard growing up. Like, I'm not surprised by this at all.
It was something.
Well, what was really interesting is that. Oh, sorry for cutting over each other. One of the things that was really interesting was that in Hong Kong.
Sean, go back. It sounds like you're still in Asia. Get him out of here.
Sean's on hotel internet. It's okay.
Yeah, get him out of here.
No. Sean, finish what you're going to say, and then we'll let you go.
All right. Regarding the two teams that we were calling them in Hong Kong, what was really interesting is because of the weird dynamic and the political situation, the people who were China nationals and pro-China, the wealthy ones were really ostentatious about their wealth. They were driving, jacked up cars, like all the best cars, and they were going to all the best clubs, and they were dropping the biggest tabs. You could tell, and everyone would tell us, oh yeah, that's a Chinese guy. Meanwhile, the Hong Kong people who have any kind of means whatsoever, they're like walking on eggshells. They're not showing their wealth. They're not flaunting it in any way. They're like, in fact, they're like hiding it because they're worried about it getting confiscated. And that was really, really interesting. That's the only city that we experienced that. It was really, really weird.
Interesting. All right, Sean, we'll let you go. Enjoy Chicago.
All right, go Cubs.
All right, go Cubs, go. You guys want to do? Oh, by the way, before we do recess, actually, is what I was going to mention. You know who's IPOing today?
Who?
Shark Ninja.
Wait, the vacuum?
Among other things, but yes.
What's the ticker here?
SN.
Wow, look at SoFi, man.
Shark Ninja makes some amazing. I can't speak to this IPO at all, or the company, but they make some amazing products. I'll tell you that. We have like a Ninja blender. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I got one of those too. It hasn't started trading yet. Here's what I'll say. The Shark vacuums are great. They're excellent, but they are not even close to number one. Dyson is such an incredible company.
Yeah.
Anything Dyson makes is just like crazy good. Whether it's like they make stuff in public bathrooms, like the hand dryers and stuff like that. The vacuums, nobody comes close to a Dyson vacuum. So I don't know.
I would definitely agree with you on that. I was more so focusing on the Ninja part of the Shark Ninja because Ninja has just incredible kitchen appliances. They have like these like air fryer things that are like it's like a 10-in-1 is what it does everything.
I got the blender. The blender's really good, really convenient. Yeah. I also have a Shark. Like I'm not talking crap about the vacuum. It's really good. But my neighbor has a Dyson, and I'm jealous because it's that much better.
Yep. I have a Shark. It's okay. But okay. We'll do some recess. How's that sound?
Good. All right, so let's start with Strazza. I think it's appropriate. Strazza, best meal in Asia. Go.
So it's really all right. It's not a fair question. They were all really good. I would rather pick like a cuisine, right, than an individual meal. But objectively speaking, the best meal that we did have would have to be the Wagyu omakase that we did. Like it just
Where? In Tokyo?
it was in Japan in the Ginza neighborhood. So we had our own private chef. He was just like a master back there in the kitchen. The stuff I ate, I don't even know what it was, but it was all crazy good. That would have to be the best meal.
Sounds like it. Definitely.
Listen, Japan does food really well. Tough for any of those places to beat the way Japan does food. We, funny story, totally bombed in Tokyo. Like, I'm so disappointed and embarrassed for us. Like, I had the worst sushi of my life in Tokyo. And it's no one's fault but our own. Like, we tried to find a place. We wanted to do like traditional omakase our last night of the trip. And just between language barrier and time constraints and us waiting to the last second to try to book it, we ended up at like a food court. We're eating like food court sushi.
If I tell you right now, Strazza, you got to get on a plane and go to any of those countries in Asia, where do you go? You go to Vietnam?
Yeah, but I mean, I don't even think I'm going back to Vietnam. I don't know if it'll be in September or November, but I'm going to go back. I think there's a lot more to explore and do there.
Wow.
We only saw Ho Chi Minh City, but totally Vietnam. If I had to pick another one, it wouldn't be Bangkok. It would definitely not be Singapore. It might be Hong Kong, man. Hong Kong is really, like Sean was saying, it was beautiful. It was interesting. There's a lot to dive into there, like Sean was kind of alluding to. The food is great. You know, in a lot of these cities, I felt very much like a lost boy, like in a new place. But Hong Kong is like, oh, this is New York.
Yeah,
this is great.
Doesn't Vietnam have like? Didn't they film like so many movies like in the water where there's all those like little islands? I don't know how else to describe it, but you know what I'm talking about. Like,
yeah, so they have beautiful, beautiful islands that everybody says like you just must see in Vietnam. And I think the cities are crazy cool too. It's just a whole different world over there. I mean, everything that we did was just like so eye-opening and amazing. I liked really seeing the grittier cities, right? The less developed cities. It's the way that we should probably say that. Third world is really like a Cold War term that people don't really use anymore. It's not very nice, but like the least developed places to me were by far the coolest because it was just the most different to experience. Like Tokyo was great. Hong Kong was great. Singapore was great. But that's very much like a first world metropolitan feel.
This is Vietnam. This is what I was talking about. This is I don't know what these are called, but they're like this island.
Is it like or something?
I honestly don't know, but I just googled Vietnam Islands and that came up. But that's what I was referring to. There's like so many like James Bond like films here a lot. I feel like it's just like a very picturesque.
Yeah, apparently the views are crazy. The golf courses are just otherworldly, and it's big. Like you got the mountains, the ocean, some cool cities.
You played golf twice. Where else did you play?
We played with friends that we met in Manila. That's what I did with my extra day in Manila. I golfed with Riley and our new friend Miguel.
What'd you like better, Manila golf or Vietnam golf?
It's very different, man. Very different. Easily Vietnam.
Yeah.
But I'm glad we experienced Manila.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, we got to get back to trading. Spencer, kick us out of here.
Yeah, real fast. Oppenheimer review. Fantastic.
Really?
See it in theaters. Don't see it on your couch. See it in theaters. It'll blow your ears off your head. And yes, it is 3 hours, but it moves fast. It moves really. It's like a very fast-paced movie. So it does not drag at all. Maybe the last 5 minutes, but like
that's an investment.
Yeah, but it was awesome. My review of Kava was, it was fine.
Wow, hating on Kava.
Nothing to write home about. I don't know.
I'll give you a stock that everybody in Southeast Asia loves, and I think we'll look back 5-10 years from now, and it'll be at much higher prices. C Limited, SE.
Yeah.
With Amazon and Alibaba, these countries, everybody loves them. Mm-hmm. It seems like they're still figuring out the non-profitable tech issue that a lot of these companies have had, but big brand out there. And I think the chart's pretty interesting.
We know this one well, Strazza. We talk about it a lot.
I've been in it and gotten out of it. I haven't really had a chance to make much money on it yet. It's still working out its reversal pattern.
It is.
All right, guys, we're done. Drop us a like if you can. Hey, subscribe to our YouTube channel while you're there. We'd appreciate that. Check out the links. Check out the link to our documentary. The reason we sent those guys to Asia is to produce a documentary. We're going to be hosting watch parties, showing, doing live screenings. Do all that on the link. It's in the chat. It's actually pinned to the top of the chat and in the description as well. It's called Wall Street to All Streets. Check it out there. Great to have you back, Strazza. We'll be back tomorrow. So everyone have a good rest of your day. Go make some money.
Adios.
Run it. I can't take no loss.